Hey, my name is J IVCEVICH. We're here at Garvey Simon Art Access, Suite 207, 547 West 27th for my solo show called Shreds. And the shred in the title refers to the source material, which is the imagery for a lot of these paintings, and it's all shredded street, subway promotional posters that you see all over. I've been collecting these images for years and travels various cities around the world, because you can always find them. They're always torn up and around. And so this is the kind of the culmination of that imagery. These paintings are through several processes, the kind of taking that imagery and reducing it to its bare and essential elements. And what I've kind of come up with is taking this imagery and through various manipulations, turning them into essentially urban mandalas, kind of my secular Zen-like approach to the chaos. It's a response to the chaos of life in the city and finding something quiet and contemplative throughout all of that. And taking the normally overlooked, most people wouldn't even take a second glance at a shredded poster or something, but I find the textures created a really interesting subject matter, both formally and conceptually for these works.
Is it spiritual?
I like to think so. Like I said it's more secular than any. I wouldn't claim to be Buddhist or anything, but as you can see, I have two Buddhist monks as part of the show in either corner, and they're holding speakers that are playing a soundtrack that I composed from various monks chanting, field recordings from the streets, which include, the tone of subway doors closing and screeching subways coming into the station, and solo piano plays I played, and some gamelan noises. So it's kind of a mix of a bunch of both styles and ideologies, I guess, and creating the contemplative atmosphere of the show. And I feel like when you walk into the gallery, it is a somewhat spiritual place. It's a place where it's reflective and it's calming. The lighting, we did a bit dimmer here so you could catch some of the relief elements of the work. But yeah, that's kind of the essence of the show in the main gallery. In the reception area, there's smaller works that are some of the evolution of the source material. Some of these include resin paintings that are actual photo manipulations, and then the paint is suspended between layers of epoxy resin. So there's a film that I made that is like a slideshow of all the source imagery fading in and out, and that's where the original soundtrack came from. And so taking this as a launch point for all these works, the final and essential outcome are the works on linen, in my mind, but all the steps are very important.
What about the symmetry?
Well, the symmetry, I did a lot of single panels, and I really enjoyed those, but by using the kind of Rorschach idea, it left a lot more open to the viewer, and I loved the symmetry, kind of finding a form out of that chaos. And once they became symmetrical, that's where the idea that, oh, these are mandalas. And once again, that led to me having the monks in the place. And I think there's something about the symmetry too, and the idea of the Rorschach that people see it leaves a lot more open to interpretation for the viewer. Some of my work previously in the past was very literal, kind of urban still life. It might be a construction scene or something, and it was very deadpan, and that's what it is. And I think with this body of work, there's a lot more process involved. I don't know exactly what they're going to look like when I start, which makes it more interesting, the process more interesting for me as an artist, but also for the viewer. It's much more open to interpretation, which I think had possibly been lacking in the past, but I think it lent itself really nicely to this work. Some people feel too that there's they almost look like terrestrial topo maps, relief maps, and I've always appreciated cartography too, and so I was thinking about that in a way it is cartography of contemporary culture. Because, you know, with these shredded posters, it's kind of the ephemeral evidence of our culture and pop culture and society, whether it be movies or Broadway plays or TV shows, whatever is being advertised, you know, it's very current and then just gets plastered over and layered. Sometimes when they're peeling, you see these evidence of what was once there before. And so it is kind of like urban archaeology in a way too. And so, yeah, that's where the source material comes from and where this work is coming from and going to, I guess.
Thank you very much. Very beautiful work.
Thank you.